Ethan Walker was 16 years old and attended Lincoln High School. He was quiet, polite, and usually sat alone during lunch. But there was one problem. Everyone in school thought he was a thief. It all started when a student's expensive smartwatch disappeared from a locker room. The school administration searched everywhere, but couldn't find it. A few days later, another student claimed that some cash was missing from her backpack. Rumors spread quickly. Nobody had any proof, but somehow Ethan became the target. Why? Because he came from a poor family. His clothes were old, his shoes were worn out, and his mother worked 2 jobs just to pay rent. Students whispered whenever he walked past, "Keep an eye on your wallet. Here comes the thief. Don't leave your bag unattended." The words hurt more than anyone knew. But Ethan stayed silent. Every morning, he walked into school carrying a burden nobody could see. One afternoon, Ethan entered the cafeteria and noticed an empty seat. As he sat down, 3 boys stood up immediately. One of them laughed. "Sorry, we don't eat with thieves." The entire table laughed. Ethan quietly picked up his tray and walked away. That night, he cried in his room, not because he was angry, because he felt helpless. No matter what he said, nobody believed him. Weeks passed. The bullying became worse. Students posted jokes about him online. Some even created fake stories claiming they had seen him stealing. Teachers noticed the situation, but had no evidence to stop the rumors. Then one day something unexpected happened. The principal announced that a large amount of money had disappeared from a charity fundraiser, nearly $5,000. The school was shocked. Immediately, students began pointing fingers, and once again, they blamed Ethan. People stared at him in the hallways. Some demanded he be expelled. Others said he should be arrested, even though there was absolutely no proof. For Ethan, it felt like the world had already decided he was guilty. The next morning, he was called into the principal's office. As he walked through the hallway, students watched him. Some smiled, others whispered. Many believed this was the day he would finally be punished. Inside the office sat the principal, several teachers, and a school security officer. Ethan's heart pounded. The principal looked serious. "Ethan, please have a seat." For a moment, Ethan thought his life was over. Then the principal said something unexpected. "Ethan, you're not in trouble." The room fell silent. "What?" Ethan asked. The principal leaned forward. "We know you didn't steal anything." Ethan stared in disbelief. The principal continued. "Last week, we installed new security cameras around the school. The footage revealed everything. Not only had Ethan never stolen anything, the real thief had finally been caught. The school security officer played the video. On the screen appeared one of the most popular students in school. A student admired by almost everyone. A student athlete. A straight A student. Someone nobody ever suspected. The room was silent. For months, he had been stealing from students and blaming Ethan because he knew people would believe the rumors. Ethan couldn't speak. His eyes filled with tears. All this time he had suffered for something. He never did. The principal wasn't finished. "There is something else you should know." The principal opened a folder. Inside were dozens of reports. Reports from teachers who had secretly documented every bullying incident Ethan experienced. Every insult, every joke, every act of harassment. The principal had been collecting evidence for months. The following day, the entire school gathered in the auditorium. Students expected a normal assembly. Instead, the principal stepped onto the stage and displayed the security footage on a giant screen. Gasps filled the room. Thus, truth was finally revealed. The real thief was exposed. Then the principal spoke. For months, an innocent student suffered. Because people chose rumors over facts, the Room became quiet. Students lowered their heads. Many felt ashamed. Then the principal called Ethan onto the stage. Ethan hesitated, but slowly he walked forward. Chatite. Audience watched in silence. The principal placed a hand on his shoulder. This young man showed more strength and dignity than most adults ever could. For the first time in months, people weren't laughing, they were listening. Some students began crying. Others looked away in embarrassment. The same students who mocked him now realized what they had done. The principal continued. Character is not revealed when life is easy. Character is revealed when people treat you unfairly. The entire auditorium stood up, one by one. Then everyone began applauding. The applause grew louder and louder and louder. Ethan looked around in disbelief. The same school that once rejected him was now standing for him. After the assembly, dozens of students approached Ethan. Some apologized. Others admitted they had believed the rumors without evidence. For the first time in a long time, Ethan smiled. Months later, Ethan became a student mentor. He helped students who were being bullied. He listened to those who felt alone because he understood their pain. Years later, when people remembered Lincoln High School's most inspiring student, they didn't remember the popular athlete. They didn't remember the thief. They remembered Ethan, the boy everyone called a thief, until the truth finally came out. Moral: never judge someone based on rumors. Truth may take time, but eventually it finds its voice.